What's up?
This is
Episode 2.
Episode 2. This
Yeah.
is the second episode of David and I's podcast for our channel, CHG. This is the CHG Podcast, everybody.
Yeah.
David even has a beard.
A little bit, yeah. I need to shave.
He's even got a little beard going on.
I need to
beard
shave.
action.
I
I feel it. I feel it. I love it. So, guys, this is basically going to be our David and I's. We've been talking about this for a long time. Before we were doing Crash, David was saying on the podcast a long time ago. We're finally doing it.
Yeah.
Finally, we'll bringing this to the channel. This week going to be like topical gaming relevant stuff, gaming topics. Well, usually topical. If not, we'll just talk about something related to it and just have basically a back and forth discussion, in-depth discussion about it, because he and I are both very knowledgeable of the industry.
Or we like to think we are.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I guess you guys will be the judge of whether or not we are.
That's true.
But we think we're knowledgeable of the industry. David's worked at GameStop for his entire life, and I have just been following the industry since I was like 15. So, and I'm 28 now, so 13 years. I'm a 13-year observer, I guess I can say. that's my moniker.
Yes.
Anyways, guys. So before we get on with our main subject today, let's talk about what we're playing. David, what are you playing? What have you been playing?
So I'm playing MLB The Show just because it's my time killer. So like when I don't have like some like time to really think about a game or something, I'm playing MLB The Show. I'm going through and rebuilding franchises and stuff like that. So that's what I do for just like a quick fun thing.
And you're playing it because you could finally play it on your Xbox.
Yeah, it's on. Well, I mean, I have a PlayStation, so like, and that's one of the.
But you can now play it on your.
No,
Xbox,
that's true, and
right?
it's on Game Pass. And one of these days, we'll talk about Game Pass because I have feelings about Game Pass and the whole like the future of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then when I have time to actually sit down and like work my way through a substantial game, I'm playing Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah, he's having a good time with
It's dope. It's really good. I want to play the other ones, but right now I'm liking the turn-based. I'm liking the wackiness of it. Yeah.
Well, the wackiness will never go away.
True.
You'll have that on all of them.
That's true.
Is it weird seeing MLB on an Xbox container?
A little bit. The only weird thing is so I'm on my Xbox Series X, and then the first thing that flashes up when I turn on MLB The Show is Sony Studios.
Are you serious?
Because it's from Sony San Diego.
Really? Yeah. It's a Sony Studios thing, but it's going both. That's interesting. I wonder if it's going to have that next year.
It's the future, bro.
I wonder if it's going to have that next year.
It's the future, bro.
Strange. So crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder if like for any Bethesda game that like was still going to come out for both. I wonder if I play it, it's gonna be like the Xbox swirl is going to come up or something.
No, I don't think so, because this is literally called Sony San Diego Studios. Like it's a Sony studio. Like I guess Bethesda's a Sony studio, but I think that like it still has the brand name, unless they like add a Microsoft logo under Bethesda. Like it's like Bethesda. Microsoft.
They might. Who knows?
True.
Who knows?
True.
They might. We don't know what's gonna happen yet. Or like with like Deathloop, that might happen.
Deathloop, I'm pretty sure, is only on PlayStation. It
is, but like it's a very short timed exclusive.
That's true.
I think by the end of the year, it won't be exclusive anymore.
Well,
it's very.
And we'll see. Time. Like, again, different topics, but I'll be interested to see. Like right now, it seems like Starfield is only being advertised for the Xbox. So
I think that one will be an Xbox exclusive.
That's some crazy right there. But I don't
think Elder Scrolls will, but I think Starfield is. Yeah. Anyways, I've been playing a series of weird, wacky indie games you saw a while ago. I've been like seeing all these sales on Sony. I've decided to try to delve myself in some of these indie titles, and I've been beating a few of them. The one I'm currently working on is some stupid title called Beach Buggy Racing. It's definitely an indie title. I don't remember how much it was full price, but I only paid like, I don't know, $2, I think. And I'm pretty much done with it. I'm just trying to get these last couple trophies. What they man, they went down the route of just like super grindy for no reason. Like there's a trophy to get 1 million coins, which is the currency throughout the game, but like the most you can get in any championship is 5,000. And I've already beaten the game. I've already done everything
so
I need to
just
do.
grinding.
I'm just grinding. I'm just repeating championships to grind. And there's another one where you have to travel like over 9,000 kilometers, and each race is only like 3 kilometers long. So like I'm just literally just racing without an aim, without anything. So it's but I'm playing it, so that's what I'm playing. And of course I'm always playing Rock Band and such. I with Travis, we have a few games going right now. We're still trying to eventually get done with Ratchet on live stream. I already beaten it myself, but on live stream. And then we started Tomb Raider, the reboot, which was fun. Where we did a little more Borderlands, and then Ratchet, the third one. So a lot of stuff going around in different parts. But as far as what I'm doing is just a stupid game, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna play yet. I don't know if it's going to be another like one of the other games I bought on sale or something else. I'm not sure, but whatever. Tis the problem of a gamer, with all the games.
Yeah.
You and your Game Pass is like you'll never be.
Well, yeah, I won't need to buy anything in like.
Yeah.
Again, Game Pass will be another topic, but for sure.
I'm just saying though, it's just gamers it's just ridiculous how many games you can have very quickly and just never ending. Anyways, all right, guys, on to our main topic of the day. And Dave and I were talking about this a couple of days ago about Trevor. What should we talk about? And I want to talk about hype. Everyone aboard the hype train, y'all. I think hype in gaming is like a love-hate relationship. If I don't know what you think, because like we or maybe it's not a love-hate. It's more like a like someone who just gets beat down but comes back for more, like we get burned how many times a year, right, on games that you get hyped on, but then the next year comes around and you're like, nah, no more. I'm done with games. I'm done getting hyped for games. I'm over whatever. And all it takes is like one game that means a lot to you, and then it comes right back. Like you could be like, I'm done with games forever. No more. F it. Screw it. No more. I'm gonna be like an old man gamer, whatever. And then they're like, I don't know. I'm just gonna say something like Elder Scrolls 6 coming out in 6 months, and you're like, oh, you start losing your damn mind, right? And it's just a funny situation. But we want to talk about like just what it means for the industry, what effect it's had on it, and kind of just give our thoughts on just how we feel about it in general. And for a disclaimer, well, not disclaimer, but I guess to start things off, like David will go on his like. David is more susceptible to hype than I am, and we both know that. He always has been, but he's just that kind of guy. He's just that kind of guy.
I'm just a lover, man.
He doesn't care. He's just a lover. He doesn't care. Whatever. He doesn't care if he gets burned. He's not buying the game anyways.
Yeah. So it might change. It might change once I start having to buy my own games.
That actually might be a big reason, because you don't really you don't really need to buy your games. But as for me, I almost never get hyped for games anymore unless it's like real near and dear, like like Ratchet and Clank or Crash, or like if Jack and Daxter came back or something. I would lose my mind for that.
You'd lose your goddamn mind.
Oh yeah, or Sly Cooper. I would actually go crazier for Sly Cooper than Jack. I'm a bigger Sly Cooper fan than I am Jack. Or like SSX if that came back. Or got like remastered or something like that, like, or like the old Tony Hawk's got remastered again. Like if 3 and 4 were coming,
which I mean, they made enough money off of.
It's been floating around.
Or like Underground, like I would. I get excited for Underground.
Oh yeah, Underground 1 or 2, it doesn't even matter.
Just a dual pack, bro. If they're gonna do one, they're gonna do both.
Oh, both of those were phenomenal. So like if that came back, I would go nuts, right? I'm very, very selective with the games I get hyped for, because it hurts the heart, man. Is like the heart can't take this anymore. Like I can't take it, man. I can't take it. Like listening to you tell me about how much Cyberpunk did you dirty, and hearing it from Travis as well. Like it's just like I'm so glad I didn't get caught in that because I would have been like heartbroken too. And I just can't. My heart can't take it no more, man. Okay, I've been gaming for a long time, as have you, and the heart just can't take getting burned over and over again. You know what I mean?
I think
I don't know
so.
How
Like,
you do it.
So a few, like two games that come to mind in the negative light. We'll get to the positive light too, but like in the negative light, two games that come to mind: Cyberpunk, obviously, and then also No Man's Sky. So I think that first off, if we look at Cyberpunk first, I think the hype behind that came in one. It came from a reputable game company in CD Projekt Red. The game that they made right before it is possibly one of the best RPGs ever made. That had it did so many things with the genre as far as like the quests and how it affects and how the quests you do and the things you do in the world affect the world and affect the storyline, how the story played out. Little weird little things like that your beard grows over time, like, and ultimately that's stupid, but it's also really cool at the same time.
But it's not stupid. It's not stupid.
Though. Yes, it did a lot of things right about this. Sense. It's little mini game. It's a little mini card game. He has a visitor. His little mini card game became a whole other separate game that they released by itself.
Oh yeah, Gwent. Yeah, Gwent. Yeah, it's not often when that happens.
Yeah, so like it did so well. So then when they come out, so then you have the second thing. So first off, you have CD Projekt Red just being and I still think that they're a good company. That they're going to continue to produce good video games. But so that was the first thing. So you have a reputable company making a big game. Then you have a trailer, again a CG trailer, but we always get pumped for CG trailers, put out years before the product's going to happen, right? So it starts the hype machine. We don't have a lot to go on, so we're like, what could this game be? I'm pretty sure that I created what this game was in my head before any kind of gameplay was ever revealed. And then you just have, and then media, of course, find something that's popular, that's getting a lot of mentions, and then just piles on with the articles and with the nitpicking on, we're hearing this from insiders about the game and all sorts of stuff. And, and then, we get the game. And so like one of the things that was really talked about was a mechanic that was nixed from the game, which was wall running. And my thought process was like, oh man, if they don't.
No, I know it's not in the game.
They were that was a huge thing. Is that they were thinking,
but they never showed it. They never showed that.
But they were thinking about having it in the game, but then they ultimately decided not to. So like then, because wall running was thought about to be in the game, I thought like, well, wow, they must have thought about the levelity of the levels, right? Like the altitude and stuff. To even have the contemplation of wall running, you have to have the level design to do that. So that confirmed to me. I was like, okay, they're gonna have cool levels, layouts, and all this sort of stuff in here. It's gonna be awesome. And then we get the game, and we won't go over the disappointment because that's not what this is about. This is about the hype. But I think if Cyberpunk was released with like medium hype, just like, hey, this is a good game coming out, blah, 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 it would have been received much better. I probably would have played it. I have not played more than a couple hours of Cyberpunk at this point. Just because, like, I don't know. Like, maybe it reminds me of how excited I was, and it just hurts too much. I don't know.
Was it really a couple hours? You made it seem like you played it.
Nope, I played for like, I don't think I got past the first mission after the tutorial part. I don't think I got past the first mission.
You already knew, like, this isn't.
What else do I need to know? The NPCs don't have scripts; they just stand there. Like the NPCs, like the driving in it is bad. The driving NPCs, you can just create a traffic jam. And I know this is little stuff, but we're talking about like a game that should have set the standard and didn't. And I might be able to go back to it one day when I have time on my hands. But I mean, now that I probably will never have time on my hands ever again. I'm just at that point in my life. And I don't know, it just disappointed me enough to where I'm not going to do it. And they still haven't fixed enough of it, in my opinion. It's selling for like $20 something, like maybe $30 new now. That's going to be about the new price for it. And that's what I tell customers when they come into my store is, yeah, $30 is about what to like reasonable for this game. And that's an indie game price. And that's about what we had out of it.
Did they ever put out the next gen update?
I don't think so.
Was it supposed to be some
no.
big,
I think it's delayed till. I think it's still delayed. I could be wrong, but I haven't got on.
I wasn't sure if I missed it or not. Because I knew they were supposed to come out with some.
And then I think to get away from Cyberpunk and to talk about No Man's Sky real quick. No Man's Sky was a whole different beast. A team we never heard of before, but backed by Sony, which gave them credibility. They overhyped it themselves by bringing out all this crazy shit they were going to do with the game and blah, 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 blah. The funny thing with No Man's Sky is that the game has flourished when the hype died. As soon as the hype died and people actually got into the game because it got better, now it's a really good game. It's kind of under the radar, which is probably what this game always should have been. And if this game had been what it should have been, which is kind of like an under the radar, really cool idea, experimental gameplay thing, this could be like a indie hit, like a under the radar hit. But because it was overhyped, it'll just never be that because it was supposed to be the next big thing. But yeah, I think that's what like the bad part of hype. Like it either takes a game that would have been okay and just gets it so hyped that that it's just, now that it's an okay game that was overhyped, it's bad now. Or a game like No Man's Sky, which it was an indie game that was hyped up to be a AAA game, and that's just not what it was. As an indie game, it's amazing. It's maybe if it was an indie game or like felt like an indie, like it was supposed to be an indie game, it might be one of the best indie games ever because of all that it does now. But it wasn't that.
I think something I think we were talking about briefly last time when we were thinking about this was games that take hype that don't even need it.
Yeah.
From other games. I think we talked about that. I forget. Do you remember what we actually spoke about regards to that, though?
I mean, we talked about Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk didn't need all the extra media hype.
Yeah, I think we talked about other games too. Like, I think
Resident Evil. I think every Call of Duty, like Call of Duty could spend no money, like almost no money on advertisement other than, yeah, we're doing it again, and they'd still sell millions of copies. But yet they advertise because it's been shown, and this is different, and we know this, is that even big games like Call of Duty who spend millions of dollars on advertisement, they still see that return, at least in the initial sales.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with like for games, because sometimes when games come out and they're overhyped, it's like they don't deliver what people think. What people were expecting because they were like for No Man's Sky, I guess, for instance, they like, we had this and this, we're gonna have this and this, and it doesn't have this and this. Or you can look at Watch Dogs 1, and they actually put out a supposed gameplay trailer. Obviously, it wasn't, as everyone knows, it wasn't for consoles. It was a PC version of it. So people were expecting something. They didn't say it's gonna have this and this, but the gameplay trailer basically shows it's gonna have this and this, but it doesn't. So there's that. Games can fall down from that, but sometimes the hype is made by us.
Yeah.
You and I, the general fan base. And people will get just as mad and act like it's company's fault when it's not their fault. So, for instance, this is not related to games, but like the Nintendo OLED Switch. People were losing their shit in a bad way because they were like, oh, where's the Switch Pro at? Where's my Switch Pro? And it's like, I don't believe Nintendo ever confirmed in any way that there was going to be a Switch Pro. And that was just a rumor that went around. People picked it up, and people just ran with it and assumed that, like, okay, yeah, they're going to release the Switch Pro. We don't know when, but it's going to be the Switch Pro. And they're like, ha, Sykes, joke's on you. It's an OLED Switch, not a Switch Pro. It doesn't have any improved GPU or CPU or RAM. I think it might have better internal space, just storage space. And I think the screen's a little bit bigger, and obviously it's an OLED screen instead of the LCD screen, and so that it can actually go 1080p when it's docked. I don't think the regular Switch can it?
Oh no, it's regular Switch, 920 to 1080, but most
920,
most are not 1080.
But it can't go 1080. Okay, so it can't go 1080. So there's a couple minor improvements, but like that's not indicative of what you would call like a pro, or really much of. It's not that much.
No, I mean, and then that's the thing. Honestly, when Nintendo actually came out and was talking about it, they didn't expect people to have this be an upgrade. It's more just that this is a better version for people getting into it.
Yeah,
that you're making is that
the hype for it was
should
been a pro.
We were hearing these rumors of like, oh, they're going to come out with a new system. Why would they come out with a new system unless it was the pro? Unless they're going to do an upgrade. So like then it started snowballing and stuff.
So they get mad at Nintendo like it's their fault, and it's like, no, it's our fault for running with hype mills, and rumor mills and shit. And I can't think of a game particularly off the top of my head that like we made up like stuff like as like a us as a collective gaming conscious made up things that should have been in the game.
I think any kind of like any kind of sequel I think sometimes has a little bit of that, because we as the gamers who played the first one, and then we hear a sequel's coming out, then we can start thinking like, okay, like what could they improve, like are they going to have better graphics, or are they going to improve this that was bad, that all the community knew that this was the bad thing about the game, so maybe they're going to fix it in this one. Obviously I can't think of any specific things, but that I'm sure that's happened. My thing is like, so we talked about bad hype. I honestly don't think there can be good pre-hype that wasn't already there. Like games, like any game that has hype is either where it like it doesn't. How am I trying to say? It's like it doesn't improve it. Like a good game that has good hype is just going to be a good game. I don't think there's a game that's under the radar that has necessarily got hype to make it really hyped and come out and performed well. It's more, in my opinion, where like an indie game will release, a few people will play it, or like a YouTuber will play it, and then it gets hype after the fact and blows up. I think that's more where positive hype comes in. I just don't, any pre-hype, I think is either neutral or negative in my mind. I can't think of a game that.
Do you mean that for like all types of games?
I don't know. Like I can't think of a game. Can you think of a game that you didn't know about before it came out, and then all of a sudden right before release you knew about it?
No, not unless it's an indie game or something like that. I'm not saying I don't agree with you. I'm just trying to clarify what you're saying, because you're essentially comparing manufactured hype to organic hype. So I mean, and of course, organic hype that's always gonna be positive, because that's the word of mouth hype. That's the hype that the company didn't put any actual effort in. The community did. So of course it's going to be good. Well, it's good. It's good more often than bad.
I actually did. I thought about one kind of pre-hype that I actually experienced myself, and it was actually Borderlands 2. So I did not
really.
Okay, so
take us back, David. Take us back to 2010.
It could have just been me being ignorant, right? I did not play the first one, and I still have to this day have not played the first one, like in depth. But the second one was coming out, and people that had played the first one were really excited about the second one, and there was some noticeable hype for Borderlands 2. And that got me to buy it because I was like, okay, like there's a lot of people that are really excited that played the other one. So yeah, let's buy it. Let's see what it was. And it's one of my favorite games of all time.
I think I might have to talk.
Yeah, it could have been. It definitely could have been. But you can't deny that the Borderlands 2 had more hype than Borderlands 1.
Yes, true, very true. Because the same thing said about Uncharted. Yeah, same thing. I mean, but the thing is, they try to build hype for both games manufactured. They try to manufacture hype for both games. Now, Borderlands 2 also had the additional benefit of having the organic hype to go on top of the manufactured hype. But I don't think it was a matter of what you were saying before, that like really nobody knew about this game, and then all of a sudden, boom, kaboom! Like Mortal Shell, or that recent Valhalla game that was on PC. Like we're like nobody knew of this game, and then literally you turn on you go on GameSpot one day and it's like, this game has concurrent players on PC of like 250,000. You're like, what game is this? I wouldn't say this the same thing, but like I'm saying, like you're comparing organic to manufactured hype, and I will agree that more often than not, if it is all pure manufactured hype, you're gonna have a lot of negativity to go along with it. It's just inevitable because it's company sponsored, it's corporate sponsored, and you're gonna have people who are bitter or people who don't agree or whatever. And then you have all the people who you have like YouTubers like us and streamers who, whether they realize it or not, are a little too excited for.
Well, yeah, because no one's gonna watch content to someone who's not excited about something, right? Like you're not watching a YouTube channel be like, yeah, I mean, the game looks okay. Well, you want to be like, this game's amazing. I'm going to play it. Look at all this stuff.
Well, unless you find a way to mix it, because Angry Joe, he does a good job of, if he hates something or is not impressed with something, he tells it in a compelling, interesting way, an exciting way. So I mean, it's not like you can't do that. You just can't be mundane while you're doing it. Because you get people who hate it, and as long as they're screaming and or just yelling, people will be excited to watch that too. Because then they'll have people running behind them. Like, yeah, see, like this guy gets it. He's a thinker right here. He gets it. He's not falling for the hype. He's not falling for the bullshit or whatever have you. But yeah, let's actually, I think this is kind of off topic, so I won't bring it up. But there's another guy I met through the Discord who apparently I just found out that he hates RE8. On the premise that just because everyone's losing their shit over it, and he hates it, so he hates the game, and this is fine because I hate the game too, so it's okay. I don't really care. I think the game is completely stupid. That could be another episode. Yeah. You're just ranting about RE8, and I
don't know if I can because I have a non-opinion of it. Like I can understand why people like it. I don't think it's a great game. Like from everything I've seen, like it doesn't look like a great game. It looks like a game with above average graphics, a below average like gameplay, and maybe an average story, but I don't like I'm not like into the RE stuff.
You were coming in strong with those regards.
Like I've looked at the
slightly above average graphics. Ooh,
I mean, it looks good. It looks good.
I was not gonna say that. I was gonna say it looks great, honestly, bro. I've seen that shit looking tasty. But that's probably the best thing I can give about it. That's the best.
But yeah, I think so. Like as far as hype goes, like I just think that, in my opinion, like I would rather have a game that I was excited for be because I've done research about it and learned things than the industry blowing up about it. Of course, we're gonna have games I'm gonna be excited for that the industry is gonna blow up for because it is what it is. So like. I am going to be excited for Starfield. I hope I see more gameplay of it because now I don't even know what it is. But the industry is going to blow up about it.
The only thing that we know is that there's a sandwich.
And there's a gun.
That's all we know. There's a sandwich
and a robot.
That's the only thing we know. No, it's a sandwich. That's the only thing that matters.
But yeah, I mean, I would rather have a game that I'm excited for the industry not talk about, because like I don't think I can get myself too much excited for something. Like I don't think I can overhype myself. I think that the industry can overhype it for me. But I don't think I can overhype myself for anything too much like that.
I hope not, because you used to do it all the time. I hope you've learned from your ways, David. I hope I've taught you the ways of not hyping yourself up, being a bitter old man.
But
the other thing about it, though, like, and as we kind of wrap up here, people like the issue. I don't really have a problem with hype per se in of itself, because I don't really involve myself in it. But like, it's never gonna go away. And the problem, and the reason why, is because there will always be some games that will slip through the cracks and actually perform based on the hype. You know, there will always be those games that do it. Like Insomniac Spider-Man. How much hype did that get? And it delivered. It really delivered on like all fronts. Really, I know there will always be some things, downfalls, whatever, a couple things here and there. But by and large, that game delivered.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Like,
it was incredible.
Completely different.
God of War.
Gosh damn, loves that game. And like, and the
Demon Souls remake.
Demon Souls remake. I was keeping things a little more recent, but Demon Souls remake got delivered like crazy. But yeah, God of War
was at the same time.
Absolutely did. Shut up. God of War did. Horizon Zero Dawn did. I would say Gears 5 might have as well. I think at least on most fronts. I think more things than not. Yeah. I think Gears 5 delivered, in some respects. So there'll always be games that are going to actually deliver, and those are the one. And because of those good examples, people will always find a way to be hyped.
And people just love to be hyped. Like people, we love talking about games. We love to talk about games. We love to talk about the future of games. A good thing is like sports for me, right? And I know, again, for our audience, but like we love to talk about our future as sports fans, like the new kid that's coming up through the system that's gonna change our team, right? And the odds are that kid isn't gonna change the team. The odds are he's gonna be average or less. But God, I am putting my entire heart into this kid. Like he is going to be the future, and he's going to lead us to the promised land. So it's the same thing. In anything that you love, you want to talk about it. You want to get excited for it. And it just so happens that companies look at our excitement with dollar signs and be like, we can monetize the shit out of this. Both news sites that get money for us clicking on shit. So like, when they were coming out, like, what's the latest update for Cyberpunk? Look at this amazing news. Like, and well, that's a click, or whatever it be, or the companies that games are coming out for, like, they know that that most of the sales for a game are done within the first month period of the launch window. And that sales is all about pre-hype. Like the month launch window, like, yeah, organic hype can factor in and stuff like that, but most purchases are made off of just pre-hype in the first month. And they know they have to get that as much as they can, so they're gonna pre-hype it. Whether it's gonna be good or not, because they don't care. Like, their job as marketing people for that game is not whether the game's good, it's to sell that game. So
it's not whether it's good, it's just to make sure everyone who needs to hear about it hears about it. Because marketing is all about communication. Whether or not it's good or bad, it's all about communication. So the only thing
is it in front of people's faces.
The whole community knows. You guys can make sure they know about it, whatever way possible.
So it's never going to go away. It's going to be a part of the industry. I just think that, I guess, us as gamers just need to be smarter about it, and realize, try to disseminate what is organic hype and what is manufactured hype, what is, what's reasonable hype for a game. Like, looking back on it, I don't think it was reasonable hype for me to say to Cyberpunk that this, like for the my sports analogy, that this game is going to lead us to the promised land of RPG video games. That this is going to be like the most amazing RPG video game ever made, which is what I was thinking back then. And that wasn't fair to the game, even though the game definitely wanted me to think that way. It wasn't fair to me in my expectations. I think we just need to temper it, right? Like, as much as you can.
I agree with the tempering, but I will disagree saying that I do think it's fair. I do think yours and the world's hype for that game and the way you thought of it is fair, because I know it's not the developer's fault necessarily, because I know you got the publishers, developers, and that internal struggle. But like, the thing is, you can't control what they tell you. You can't control what they market to you. So if that's what happens, that's what happens. And you're doing what they want you to do, was be hypey. What hypey? Was to be happy, be hyped, be psyched, be wanting this game. It's not your fault that it wasn't ready. So I mean, it is what it is.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, not even if it wasn't ready. And this is, I guess, this is a whole Cybercast podcast. It's not that it wasn't ready. Like, yes, it wasn't ready. Well documented. But it wasn't new. It wasn't innovative. It wasn't, like, graphics. Okay. Like, they're good. They look nice. But you can find a lot of spaces, especially when they don't load in properly, that are just not good looking. Gameplay, decent. It's doable. Like, the shooting.
Well, I mean, we don't need to get terrible. Into a critique of
the RPG mechanics.
I wasn't trying to.
But that's the thing.
It's like, saying it's not done.
It just wasn't like, it wasn't done, no. But it also wasn't.
I include all of that into not done. I don't know. I'm not trying to say whether or not it would have been perfect if it had like 2 more years to work on it. I'm just saying, though, it wasn't. None of it was okay. None of it was good. None of it was done. But the point I'm trying to say is not your fault. It's not your fault to get excited about it. It's not your fault. So you don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. They did what they needed to do. You did what you needed to do as response, and then they dropped the ball. You gave them your money, or you gave them something, and then they dropped the ball. Not your fault. Anyways, we're getting on a tangent here, but anyways, yeah, you can look at examples throughout the history, and there's been failures all over the place, and it is what it is. It ain't going away. It ain't going away.
But in the comments down below, you guys tell us what game that you got super hyped for. Like, what's the hypest you've ever gotten for a game, and did it meet expectation, or were you let down by it?
Most I ever got hyped for was Tomb Raider, the reboot, and it did deliver. If you don't focus on the multiplayer, but if you focus on the game, the single player game, it delivers in spades, in my opinion. And this has been CHG. You guys have been awesome. Like, comment, and subscribe, and share with your friends, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye.